Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have some now deleted tweets from Mr. John Campea himself, and these previous tweets about Shang-Chi's box office run and its numbers, well, it kind of destroys that narrative with Spider-Man No Way Home coming out and absolutely destroying everything in its path. Even while everyone still wants to claim we're still in the middle of a pandemic and the box office has been on a downturn. So let's take a look at what Mr. Shieldboy John Campea has to say. So here's the original tweet from Mr. Campea. Venom 2 just made more on its opening Thursday night than Shang-Chi. So this is when Venom 2 came out and beat Shang-Chi's opening weekend box office. I then tweeted, but Shang-Chi's a triumph and it'll have legs. So I was actually referencing his tweet which says this: considering a movie with a mediocre marketing campaign at best, with no recognizable or established MCU headliners, no American recognized stars, and in a pandemic spike, Shang-Chi pulling in a 75 million opening is nothing short of astonishing, and it'll have legs. I think that's the one he deleted there that you can see here. Let's take a look at these numbers. Pandemic, $75 million opening, and it'll have legs. That was his quote. Shang-Chi, 75.3 million opening. It'll, in a pandemic, as we still are, 75.3 opening, ended up with 224 in the domestic and 417 worldwide. Okay, it's been out for 4 days, $75 million opening weekend. So it was out for 4 days. Now, I actually can't show you the tweets because look, it's been deleted. So I'm gonna have to go to my old video when Venom came out and pull up the tweets. So let's take a look at what was said. Holy crap, they've updated the numbers with the official count now in, and Shang-Chi has made roughly 95 million domestically over the long weekend. Because they added the long weekend numbers, because this was the Labor Day weekend, so they tried to add the Monday numbers to make it account more, to make it look like it made more in its opening weekend. And then I said, which still puts it dead last for an MCU movie. And this is where some people, including John Campea, got very unhappy. Yes, Shang-Chi is the lowest grossing MCU movie of all time. A movie that's been out for 4 days has a lower box office results compared to movies that were in theaters for months. You got us there, very bright of you. Okay, let's compare 4 days of Spider-Man's opening, which is what we've had now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's compare Spider-Man's 4-day opening. I don't even think they have those actual numbers yet, because it's still Sunday in the US. Let's have a look at what the numbers are for Spider-Man while it's been out for 4 days, compared to other movies that have been out for months. Alright, let's take a look. You want to play that game, John Campea? Let's take a look at the numbers. After the 4 days, we know Shang-Chi had 75.3, and that was a triumph. Let's take a look. Spider-Man No Way Home. It's been out for 4 days, $200 million budget, $253 million on the opening. $253 million for an opening, and it's still not even done because they got to have the Sunday numbers come in from the US, which will be tomorrow. When's the last time we saw a $253 million like that? And we're not even done with the weekend. Look at that. Puts it number 3 for the MCU. And it's only been out 4 days. It's only been out 4 days, and we're in a pandemic. You can't count this number because, reasons. No Way Home is now beating Iron Man, Ant-Man, Thor, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Black Widow, Captain America, and Incredible Hulk, if you want to count that. So yes, I will compare just its opening weekend with entire theatrical runs, because look at the numbers. That was his excuse. It's only been out for 4 days. I'm being disingenuous comparing it to numbers and movies that have been out for months and months and months. Good on you, John Campea. Now, let's take a look at some of the other comments that I had on this tweet, because some of them are pretty freaking funny. Oh, there's someone there saying it was in a pandemic, and then I reposted a full stadium in Texas, a full football stadium in Texas, showing that people weren't scared to go out. That was back in September. Now let's take a look at what else some people have said. Shang-Chi came out during a pandemic spike, and it's not even out everywhere, especially in China. Ooh, that's a good call. I just made a video how Spider-Man No Way Home hasn't had a China release yet. So if you want to compare Shang-Chi, which didn't come out in China, which I just made a video on, Shang-Chi, no China release, 417 million worldwide. Spider-Man No Way Home, no China release as well. And it's had 587 million worldwide. No China release. So there's your narrative, done. Now let's take a look at the next one. It's the first week, so it's only been out for the first week. I guess we can't compare first week for Shang-Chi and first week for Spider-Man because they're both out in the middle of a pandemic, aren't they? Supposedly both out in the middle of a pandemic. So, well, can't compare them because the numbers don't line up for these people. There it is again, same thing, saying I'm comparing it with the 4-day total with entire theatrical runs. I just showed you entire theatrical runs of Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Thor. There you go. It beats Iron Man, beats Ant-Man, and it beat Thor. Entire theatrical run. There you go. Destroyed. It's only been out for 5 days. Same thing. There is a pandemic going on, so it's still good for the movie. So they're trying to say, oh, but pandemic numbers, it's really, really doing well. Because if it wasn't in a pandemic, it'd be making so much more. Well, hang on. If the pandemic is so detrimental to the box office, which is what other people have claimed about a movie that just came out, West Side Story, people claiming it's not a hard conversation. We're in a pandemic and the box office has been dying a slow, painful death for years now. So if we're in a pandemic and the box office has been dying for a while now, then how come you can make that excuse when it's just a terrible movie that no one wants to see, like West Side Story, terrible reboot. When Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, it absolutely destroys all of it. So you don't want to use the pandemic excuse there, do you? 4 days, great comparison. Yep, thank you. Almost all these movies are pre-pandemic. Have you heard of something called Pandemic? Oh yeah, Pandemic. What is that? No Way Home, all the way, opening weekend up to number 3. And it's beating entire theatrical runs of Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Thor. And we still got to get numbers for the next day and then see what the weekly drop-off is. If they get a less than 60% drop-off, it's still going to make another nearly 100 and something. If they want to give him that extra number, $150 million worldwide, he wants to use the worldwide numbers, which is what I said before in my previous video on this one. If you want to use the worldwide numbers, let's go ahead and use the worldwide numbers, because that was giving them an extra leg up to say the box office is doing better than it was. Shang-Chi was out for 4 days and you couldn't compare it to entire theatrical run. So let's compare the two movies that are coming out in the pandemic. Shang-Chi and Spider-Man. 587 million compared to 417 in its entire run now. Destroyed. Now, let's not forget that John Campea is the same person who leaked Spider-Man No Way Home images and put his watermark on the top of them. Who the hell does he think he is that he leak images of the movie, like the biggest spoiler images that people wanted to know about who was in the movie, and he puts his watermark over the top of it? This is the same dude who's calling out people on Twitter about comparing box office numbers for terrible movies as opposed to good movies like this one. And then you had the other one where you saw Matt Murdock, Daredevil, come in, and he's put his watermark over the top of that. So who does this guy think he is? He can leak out MCU images with his watermark on it. Like, actually, what the hell is this guy on? What a tool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video out there, and I'll see you in the next one.